body bags were whore lies.
Who is this irresistible creature who has an insatiable love for the dead?
Hey guys, happy Thursday, this is your fright chick speaking. I'm going to try my best to make this a quick review because, yeah, that never happens. Okay, so this week, of course, I am doing 28 weeks. I can never do it. 28 weeks later. Last week I did 28 days later. No one beat me to this, so I'm going to do 28 weeks later. It came out in 2007. I actually saw it first. I saw it before this one. Maybe that's partly why I like it so much, but this is a good film. It's a good watch. Very action orientated rather than horror orientated, but it is still a horror movie. There's enough blood and guts and all that bollocks, okay? So, 2007 it came out. It's obviously set 6 months after the original outbreak, or 28 weeks later if you want to be fucking tannic about it. But in this movie we have a few well-known actors. We have Robert Carlyle, we have Rose Byrne from Insidious, and we have Jeremy Renner, who I love. Ever since Senior Trip, sorry, National Lampoon's Senior Trip, that's all I'm going to know Jeremy Renner from. Okay, so basically, we have a little 5-minute segment in the beginning of the film, which is happening during the original outbreak in the first movie, where Robert Carlyle's character and his wife, I believe Robert Carlyle's character was called Don, or Dom, I can't remember. Don, let's just say Don. So, he is there with his wife in a little country cottage. They are there with other survivors. They're basically waiting, you know, they're kind of waiting it out, and they're just trying to, you know, survive basically. They have 2 children who are actually out of the country, so they've missed the entire outbreak, thank God for that. But a young boy runs up to the door and they kind of let him in, but he leads a load of infected there. So in this 5-minute little segment we get to see Robert Carlyle's character abandon everybody because everyone starts getting turned, everyone starts getting infected. He gets separated from his wife and he believes her to be dead, so he manages to escape the cottage and run down like across a field to a river where there's a boat. But when he looks back he realises that his wife was not dead at the time that he left and he could have helped her. She then gets taken by infected and she's presumed dead, but of course he did abandon her when she wasn't actually dead, so he's an asshole. But yeah, so then we cut to obviously the 28 weeks later, and we have had like a quarantine happen. Basically the whole country was quarantined. The army have come in, the American army have come in, and they are doing what they do best, being badass and kick-ass and all that other ass stuff. So they've come in and they've set up a quarantine zone, and they are basically working their way outwards from this one district. They've got District 1, which is the safe zone. There are no infected there, and they have started basically bringing family members who were evacuated back to be with their families and just kind of help set up life again, you know, get things back to normal, because it's a city and they want people to be there. But they're expanding outwards, obviously, you know, their search of infected, so that they can then eventually expand the whole country to be safe, a big old safe zone. So Robert Carlyle is now the caretaker of this District 1. He's literally kind of like the number one guy, the go-to guy, and he's got all kinds of access to everything and blah blah blah. His 2 children who were out of the country, Tammy and Andy, they get brought back at the beginning of the movie to be reunited with him, and obviously they want to know what happened to their mum. He tells them that he saw their mum killed, which is a big fat fucking lie, Robert Carlyle. But he tells them that. They do not believe him, and they decide to break out of District 1 and go back and find their mum. I guess maybe not even go back and find their mum, but they want to go back to their house and get some things like photographs and stuff, which they do. But when they go back to their house, they actually find their mother. She is not dead. She is also not infected the way that she should be. She is infected, but she is not showing any symptoms. So the army find them pretty quickly, because obviously they broke out. They track them down, they find them, and they find their mother Alice. They bring them back to District 1. They quarantine her, and they cannot understand how she is infected completely, and she's got all these bite marks, but she's not showing any symptoms. So of course this is a possible cure situation, you know, they can just cure them. So they want to work on her, but Robert Carlyle, the complete dickhead of the movie right now, he uses his access to get in there when he shouldn't have done, and he basically apologises to her. You know, he wants to see his wife. Now, this is the one thing that annoyed me about this film. This film, I know it's a movie and it's not fucking real, but if this was a real situation, it was so preventable. So this movie didn't have to happen if he had just had some common sense, because he knows she's infected, and then he kisses her, and she infects him, and in 10 seconds he's a zombie. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? What's wrong with you? But then we wouldn't have had this awesome movie if that didn't happen. So it happened, and he manages to break out of like the quarantined area they've put her in, and they start herding people into safe rooms because obviously they realise that he's been infected and that he's there. They need to take him out, but they don't do that. He manages to evade all that shit. I don't know how. He's one guy. He's in a fucking army military area, and he manages to evade everything. He manages to break into one of the safe rooms with like 100 people in it. And he just infects everybody. He just infects one person, they infect 2 people, and so on, and everyone in the room gets infected. The kids are fine at this point. We have Rose Byrne's character, who is like, she's obviously a soldier, and we have Jeremy Renner's a soldier. I think he's a sniper. They manage to evade everything, but of course they're trying to lock the place down because this is spreading really fucking quickly. They don't manage to do that. They tried to like firebomb the place. I think I read about firebomb it. Yeah, they're basically trying to take it down, blow the whole place up, just fuck it, just take them all out. But people manage to escape because there's like 100 of them. So some of them manage to get out and start infecting other people, and they lose them. So they decide they're going to just level District 1. That's it. There's an outbreak. Fuck all the people that aren't infected. You know, and that's kind of what I liked about this one. Obviously, we get the exact same story as the first one in a sense, where obviously an infection breaks out and we have survivors, but they're not only trying to deal with the zombies, they're trying not to be killed by the army as well. You know, people who have weapons and helicopters and can search for you and find you and don't care if you're not infected, they're going to kill you anyway. And that's insane because obviously we didn't have that threat in the first one. There was just the zombies. But yeah, so we follow the 2 children, and with Rose Byrne and Jeremy Renner's characters who are keeping them safe, because they realise that the kids could be a key to be a cure as well, because the boy has the same eye. The wife had like I can't remember what it's called. It's like heterochromia or something like that. There's a word for it where you've got one colour in one eye and a completely different colour in the other eye, and the boy has that. So they believe that he might have same sort of similar genes to his mum and may also be a possible cure. So they need to keep them safe. That's the rest of the film. That's it. We are following a couple of soldiers trying to keep these kids safe from the army, keep them safe from the infected, trying not to get infected themselves, and basically make it to safety, which is in the form of London, basically. They try to get them to London. They want to get them off of the island. I don't know why I said island. UK is an island, though, so I am right. But yeah, they kind of just want to get them out of the UK because obviously these are very important children now. And get them to France, really. Whoever's closest, it would be France. So yeah, that is literally the journey of the rest of the movie. There's nothing really spectacular for me to explain about the rest of it because it is just a load of action. You know, there's like fire and there's like gunfights and explosions and helicopters, all that kind of stuff, you know, and it's just literally them running the entire time, you know, and just kind of surviving. But the end scene of this movie is pretty awesome. I won't really say exactly, but let's just say, you know, the infection wasn't exactly contained very well. So yeah, the ending of this movie was brilliant. Like I said, I love this film. That's all I have to say about it, really. But I did love this film. I really wish they'd have made a trilogy. They could have, with the ending that this film had, and just in general. They really could have made a third one, a direct third one, you know, no little spin-off or anything like fucking Quarantine did. No, they should have made a third one. I don't know why they didn't. I'm still hoping that they will. But yeah, so that was 28 weeks later. I suggest you give it a watch because if you liked the first one, you're definitely going to love the second one. And even if you didn't like the first one, I think the second one's far enough removed in general where we don't have any of the same characters. We do have an extra threat level and there is a lot more action. You might like it. So yeah, give it a watch. You can get it really, really cheap. Right, I'll see you next week. Bye.